So, a warm welcome to the Masters SA Winter Series. This is round one from Stellenbosch. We're at Paarl. Can you believe it? I've made the first mistake of the evening. I'm rusty at this stuff. And I can see everyone looking and laughing at me already. How's it, folks? Welcome to the Masters SA Series. We're broadcasting live from Stellenbosch. No, I say it again, Stellenbosch. It's Paarl Specialized. You see, we're so old at this and we're just not getting it right. And there's just so many people looking at me that I just keep getting it wrong. So, yeah, all the guys are here. I'm going to cross over to them in just a little while. But thanks to Darren from Paarl Specialized for giving us this amazing venue. I'm going to try and grab him very, very shortly. I've got Kobus with me, that's usually my co-presenter, and he is my co-presenter. I'm going to put him on the spot now. Kobus, how crazy is that? I've just started, and I've just made the craziest mistakes ever. When you're rusty, you're rusty. When you're getting old, my man. But we are live, and we are broadcasting, I think, around the world at the moment. And just on the other side of us, we've got a couple of very, very fast riders. What's your take on this evening?
Yeah, well, welcome guys. It's when winter's arrived in South Africa. That's why we decided to do another, call it live event. The series has been running, of course, sort of low-key on Zwift on Wednesday evenings, 6:15 indefinitely. But we haven't had any local-only competitions, and we haven't had any fancy prizes. But our sponsors came to the party. They were frankly knocking down the door to come and support cycling in South Africa and get guys back on their trainers for winter. And that's why we decided to have this event, and we're launching it in Paarl at this fantastic new venue, Specialized Paarl. I believe the shop opened a couple of months ago.
Yeah, only a couple of months ago.
So we'll show you the shop. Sean will walk you around and show you the shop a bit. But let's show them our setup, Sean.
So guys and girls, this is what it looks like on the other side of the camera. We've got all our guys. There is a meter between all our riders, so we are COVID compliant, and most of our spectators have got our masks on. Darren is in shot at the moment. His amazing venue that I kept getting wrong because I thought I was in a different place altogether. That's how new it is. But how cool is this? All the guys are out here. I'm going to do a quick run around before we get started. So let's show you the shop. There we go. There's their waiting room. There's all the lads. Darren Herbst is a major contender in the mountain biking industry in the Paarl region and the Boland region. Here's all our guys over there. There's a little play area for the kids over there. All our riders and most of our people have got masks on. Here's a young lady that also did very well at XCO on Saturday. Our timing, guys?
No, this is Jock from Cape Multisport.
Sitting at the naughty table.
There we go, at the naughty table, all on his own. And representing the guys from Cape Multisport. So where's our man Yaku? Where's he? Here's Yaku. This
is Johan.
Oh, that's Johan.
Yaku hasn't arrived.
Oh, he hasn't arrived yet. So maybe we can, Kobus, maybe we can take the folks down to Mr. N Squared himself. He is here.
Anthony.
Anthony.
He loves being ambushed.
Yeah, no. So let's do it. Okay, I'm going to ambush Anthony. Anthony, say how's it?
Hello.
There we go. That's Anthony from N Squared. He's our amazing sponsor and partner to the Masters. It's a man of many, many words. So we're going to get back to our riders. So here we go. Reality Dynamics in the house. One of the quickest riders in the country. One of the oldest riders in the country. No, I'm only joking. Donovan Lecoq, we can't, we're live. I've already made all the mistakes, so we're good to go. So, what's happening here? Guys, to the spectators, what are these things over here? Let's just find out. What are these things for?
It's your Apple TV remote.
Do they make you go faster?
Don't touch
That button twice.
No.
Does he trap faster when you press the green button?
No, the red one. The stop one.
Dave? Yes. Nice seeing you. You've got 10 seconds to go. Thanks again for putting on an amazing series, and we'll catch you on the flip side, okay? Good luck, mate. All right. Who are we going to chat to next? Are we going to go? We're going to go.
Well, we're about to start the
We're about to start. Are we going to count them down? Yeah. So we're going to head back to the studio where it's not so live and we get things right. So we'll cross back to the riders in just a couple of seconds. Heading back to our studio, and this is what the studio looks like. There we go. There's the studio, and we'll be crossing over in just a second.
There we go. Okay, in our seat. Don't worry, Sean and I have both been vaccinated, so we can sit next to each other.
Yes, we have. How's it, folks? Okay, so just to make 100% sure, we are definitely in Paarl, and we're definitely at the Specialized, their new store. It's absolutely amazing out here. We got one of the quickest young lady riders right behind this little camera over here. Kathy Colleen is here with us. She's an amazing rider. If you don't know who she is, we're going to try and grab an interview with her a little bit later. I'll sneak a surprise on her just now. But for now, the guys are about to start. In fact, they have started.
They're starting in 1 minute. No, they've got a minute. They're still warming up.
1 minute.
So if we shift over to our little Zwift profile, you'll see, guys, this is what the Zwift interface looks like, and it's about 45 seconds out.
There we go, 45 seconds on the counter now.
Until we launch the Masters SA Winter Series. It's a series of 8. Your best 7 of 8 results count in the overall category, as well as for the lucky draw. And of course, we also have our points and King of the Mountains competitions. Although this is a prologue sort of event where 100% of the honors will go to our winner, and that winner will end up wearing all of the jerseys for a week until next week, when we expect the competition to disperse between sprinters and competitors and GC competitors a little bit. Here we go.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and off they go. Now, folks, you'll hear as they pull away, you can actually hear the grunting of the gears, the changing of the gears, and off they go. Our editor-in-chief and producer right next to me here is going to put all the action to you in a second. There we go. It's live on the other screen for us. So
180 starters today.
Yeah, 180 starters.
I think that's a record for us.
And a lot of the guys based here in Cape Town, but a lot of the guys all from over the country and across the world. I see quite a few flags from abroad. So if you are channeling in from abroad, how's it, everybody? I know we spoke pre-start to one of my favorite riders, Aaron Borrell. I do believe we are going to bring him live into the studio from London. He's just outside of London. And
yeah, we need Aaron. He's our technical know-how. He's also the chief technology editor at cyclingnews.com, international cycling website, news website. And there have been quite a few developments in Zwift since we last had a live streamed event, and it's nice to have Aaron to dial us in on all of that and how it all works.
So we'll cross over to him in just a little while. We'll dial him up and get him in. And if you've just joined us, a warm welcome. If you're based in Cape Town, you'll know it's chilly outside. These guys are warm. You can actually see. I'm gonna start getting this jacket off very soon. They've got the heaters on here. It's Specialized in Paarl, and the guys are flat out already. There's a bit of a neutral zone, I believe, for the first 5Ks where it's fairly flat.
Well, it's not neutral. It's just call it a lead-in. Yes,
it's a lead-in, and then from there you'll start seeing guns start blazing, guys starting to get the pedal and the hammer down. And you can actually hear in the background, and I'm telling you now, I think that micro wheels will pick it up. You can actually hear the crunching of those gears. As some of these guys, they're all on the on the elite trainers. So we'll try and go live to those elite trainers a little bit later. Anthony is here, as I mentioned. We try to sneak in an interview again with him. Shout out.
Our whole studio of 14 riders today are on the Elite Suito trainers, which segues in nicely into our main competition. I guess we are getting ahead of ourselves, Sean, but we might as well put it up while we're busy. So
it's so exciting to talk about it. How cool is that?
This is the main competition. The quickest guy isn't going to win the biggest prize. The biggest prize is, although I mean we've got serious prize money. I need to correct myself. It's equivalent between both the quickest guy and the luckiest guy for grand prizes, because the value is equivalent, around 15,000 rand. So our grand prize is this Elite Suito T trainer. It's precisely the same as the Elite Suito trainer we had on the previous season, sponsored by N Squared, the local distributor for Elite. So they are one of our major sponsors, jointly with Uwe Kutter, who are sponsoring the main prizes for our quickest man and our quickest lady.
Yeah, so new to not new to the series at all. Uwe Kutter, we try to grab Yaku, but he's not here yet. So thank you very much. If you are listening to us from outside, thanks Yaku. Really cool having you come on board. As I said last season, there were 3 of those seasons all together that myself and Kubus worked on, and we were saying last year in that heavy lockdown, when sponsors come on board and come and look after us like that, it's really, really cool. And it's those sponsors that we want to give back to as much as we can, because in a very tight situation, they come out and they really do shine, come and help us riders out. So let's help them out. Let's go and support them.
Absolutely.
So just making sure that the shop hasn't crumbled down in the background.
Like, I've crashed off my indoor trainer, so I wouldn't be too surprised if that happened again. It doesn't look like it was a trainer that fell over in a sprint. It might have been David's ironing board.
It probably was David's ironing board. By the way, folks, we're going to try and go to that ironing board a little bit later. We did show you a very small glimpse of it. Now, that's going to become part of the merch in the next season. It's going to be a Masters SA ironing board. It's going to be signed by all the top riders. Talking about the top riders, I'm just looking at the other screen. Some really, really cool names out there at the moment. We've got Echnis Oosthuizen here with us tonight. We've got MC Dre. He's actually sitting sort of right to my left-hand side, just out of your shot. But we're going to try and get live to him in a short while.
I saw Mary Crabe, there's Tiens, there's Christian, guys that are in the studio. At least we've got them at the pointy end of the field at the moment.
Mulman Valkomut, I saw him out there as well. Caught up with him 2 weeks ago out at Slanghoek, and nice to see him racing out here. Benny Viljoen also sitting with us in the studio. I'm sitting
Peter
right next
Avenant,
to
coming in from Joburg. He's been doing well in the off season.
Hello, Mr. Avenant.
Yes, he's been doing very well in our Zwift series that was not live streamed. He smashed the previous one. I think he won every race he contested. So it'll be interesting to see if he does as well now that we've got the rest of the SA field contesting as well.
Well, not bad for the first race of the season.
No, not bad at all.
We've got some really cool names in the mix. Sorry if you're wondering where my eyes are moving to. It's the biggest screen that we've got there. I can see all the riders. Donovan Lecoq, all the way from the southern suburbs. He's come out to Paul to support us. Donovan and his new wife. She did very well this weekend. In fact, so did Donovan. All right, looks like we're going to try and bring Mr. Ball in very shortly.
Okay, if you are watching this, Aaron, please join us via Zoom. I'm sitting ready to let you in.
Well, it's summertime out in England now, so you might still be on the bike.
Yeah, and they've got lovely weather at the moment, so Aaron's giving up a lot to be with us.
So quite a bit of folks on the other side of us here now. Just having a look, some really great cyclists that are joining us this evening, and some very cool spectators joining us this evening. Again,
Very nice.
yeah, thanks again to Darren. He's running around like a mad thing, just making sure that everything's running smoothly. And what an amazing shot. The photos and the video that I shot earlier just doesn't tell you the full story. Come out to Paul, and obviously not Stellenbosch, come out to Paul and come and see their amazing new venue. You'll be pleasantly surprised just how cool this venue is. And views for days. We got here late afternoon, got to see the whole of the mountain range just as a backdrop. We're actually trying to get that as our background earlier.
But in hindsight, it wouldn't have worked.
It wouldn't have worked because we'd be seeing
Because it's
ourselves.
darkness.
It's pitch dark
Yeah.
outside. Welcome to winter.
While we were setting up, it
Yeah.
looked like a great idea, this beautiful view out the shop, but it wouldn't have worked out, I'm afraid.
But really cool to be back here with you folks. If you've just joined us on any one of the live streams, a warm welcome to you. This is Masters SA Winter Series. We did it last year. It was a very, very successful series. And let me tell you, by the number of participants this evening, we know it's going to be a very, very successful second series.
Absolutely. But let me reshare my...
So on board, while Quivers does all these things in the background there, we're on board with David Garrett now. You can see he's pushing out, just looking at those numbers, 356 watts down to 260 watts, but consistently over the 300 mark. As we sit chatting here, I just want to try and see if I can see, it's 5.4 watts per kilogram. So those in the know, for a gent his age, that's massive watts, and I'm allowed to say it. I know he's my boss, but we're allowed to say it. He'll tackle me afterwards.
I believe his team were passing around one of those how do you do fellow kids memes for David lining up with the rest of them.
Oh, good. Yeah, so quite a bit of guys are still arriving, and just having a look around the studio.
No, there we go. Aaron's coming in.
All right, so
If you don't mind the hygiene, Sean, we're going to have to share this if we want to hear the guy.
okay, here we go.
Otherwise, it's going to be an echo. Yes, we
Yeah,
can
we
hear
can
you,
hear you.
Aaron.
Itching to get online. I had a bit of a glitch going back.
Okay, perfection. I'm going to try and get you on screen. No, it's not on yet. There we go.
Oh, there we go. How's
Good
Aaron?
man. Okay, how do I... You see, guys, we rusty. I'm rusty. How do I pop this out? Okay, the review.
So Aaron's already on his first beer of the evening.
Hey, Pepsi's not a sponsor.
I was just going to say, that looks like Powerball.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Sean and I have been hinting for specialized caps, but maybe we're not hinting loud enough.
No, we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, we definitely should.
Maybe we should chat to Kathy. We're going to try and bring her on board. And
Guys, how the heck did I used to do this? It was this thing, right? Gallery view. Apologies, everyone. Oh, that's why. Smoking my socks.
yeah, we're all a bit rusty with
See,
the
that's
broadcasting.
really terrible. Okay, Aaron. That's it now.
Aha, there we go.
Okay, going to cover any sponsors, and then I can switch off this camera. Okay, nice. There we go. Well, we're somewhere into this race already. Shall we have a look at the profile?
9.7 kilometers to be exact, and 12 minutes. And Aaron Borrell joining us all the way from London, England. It's summertime there, so he's given up some of his riding time because we know it's still light there. Aaron, welcome to it. How are you doing, mate?
Doing good. Good to see you guys again. It's good to be part of this awesome series. Did a few of the races last winter when you guys were outside having a good time. I can tell you it's 31 degrees in yesterday. Let's just 31.
Wow.
So yeah, it's always good to be part of this. I looked earlier on when the guys were lining up in the pit. It was very concerned about why wasn't it racing. Well, that's not the reason why it wasn't racing. Not against the organizers, but yes, it's really good courses. You can see the guys that are on the particular region for that is because most of us dirt. What's interesting about this specific course, which is the 1880s, is the same course they use in the Cape Epic Pro-Am race.
Yeah.
We're looking at roughly around 27 kilometers and 250 meters climbing, so it doesn't seem particularly brutal. Looking at the profile, but there's some long drags and long climbs. When you've been at threshold for quite a long period of time, they're going to hurt. And I can see we've got some regulars in the field. We've got Peter Avenant there, Eddie Hall is back and looking to test the water with him.
Oh, wow. So we've got some Zwift pros online. That's quite nice.
Something really interesting about Eddie is that 1 month ago he was ranked second in the world. He was just unable to crack the top spot, but he's still top 10. He's seventh. He's followed by just went past Gary Miller. We've got some really good talent here racing.
Didn't Gary also rank very highly internationally?
Number one has already started laying down the best. But Gary is also part of the Canadian Sports Professional team, and obviously he is required to do particular races and race specific skills, so he can't really target races he'd like to, but obviously it's a rolling ranking point. So the lower you combine 5 races on, the better you perform. So you've got to ensure that ranking point stays nice and low, and that means targeting particular races where you can get that score nice.
But I mean, surely that comes down to who the participants are on those races.
Yes, it does.
So if we attract a good field, we'll attract Gary as well.
Yes. It would have been nice to have Gary. It would have been nice to have the top 3 here, but still, there's some really strong guys here out on the road. We know exactly what some of these guys did at SA Champs. Terence and Christian were absolute monsters. They proved what they were doing here on Zwift and easily translated to the real world. So it doesn't matter when it comes to the rankings. You know the caliber of the field here.
I wasn't actually paying attention as to whether or not Terence and Christian were wearing their SA Champs jerseys. Though I believe we do have a national e-racing champ, so maybe it wouldn't be appropriate. It's not the appropriate discipline. But it's nice to have such high-profile guys racing, and hopefully, if we can keep the quality of the field attractive, we can attract some more of them. I can tell you, we had a quick look earlier just before the race started on the Zwift companion app, and we were the largest race in Zwift by a factor of about 10 this evening. So at least on a Wednesday evening for African, European, and British time, we are the major race at the moment. Hopefully we can keep that up. And what's quite nice, I think, the first time we did this, the first time I got you guys on board with me, we had a very good turnout initially, just off the back, I think, of level 5 lockdown and guys having nothing else to do. In the subsequent series, we settled at a more realistic number, call it a more sustainable number. We are now back to way above that original number. So more participants in the series than we've ever had before. So we've sort of grown back into what was perhaps a once-off type distress situation where everybody wanted what Zwift was selling to a more sustained crowd, and despite that it's bigger than it ever was, which is quite nice.
180 starters tonight.
Yeah, 180 starters globally, of which I think are something like 115 are locals that are actually entered into the local series and the local race. So, Aaron, we wanted to chat to you about the changes in Zwift, and more specifically the drafting algorithm, which they seem to have fiddled with to make it even more difficult to get away.
Yes, whereas I wouldn't say they made it more difficult for anyone to get away. What they did was dial in just an extra layer of realism. So this update came into being about a month ago. And what it actually does is if you look at it from purely the game, the guy who actually runs it as opposed to
Yeah.
so it's not that the draft is a lot harder, the draft has got more realistic. So whereas before you could be riding on the outside and not deal with the fact that you still get the draft, now you need to be behind something. So it made it a lot easier to, once you've got that week to save and conserve energy. Okay, the big difference is the riders that haven't been riding the draft for the last month or so, particularly Southern Hemisphere riders, they will definitely be able to feel that there's been a difference or change in the draft. And that might take a couple of races for them.
Get used to, yeah.
Definitely. Does it affect the sprint? Because you always see the guys sort of sprinting through the field towards the end of a race.
You go from the back straight. So it hasn't done anything in terms of that. It's more the overall dynamic of the race. I mean, we noticed in our team Vanguard, priority, Eddie was a part of that. Our first two races into the new draft, we ripped the new. We lost half our team in the first 10 minutes. And it took a bit of time to get the feel for it, just to get used to the new way of producing the power.
Oh wow. Okay. So was that just because it changed, or were there other guys in the field that had already grown accustomed to it and was sort of gaming you on that basis?
It's changing everyone. So what I can say for this is that before, when people were riding or doing races, they were averaging a massive watts per kilogram after the race. That's because they couldn't feel the drop. So they had to rely on what they needed to. What we've seen now is that those average watts per kilogram have dropped quite significantly. It looks a little bit more realistic.
Oh, that's encouraging, actually.
Very encouraging. So you can actually conserve energy in the bunch. You can even freewheel somewhat. As I said, it all comes down to your trainer, how much time you've been spending on Zwift. You can actually, it is there. It's less of a nuance, it's more of an active feeling. And it will take a couple of races, possibly a couple of practice rides, and the drivers come on. It's going to make for a very different Masters series from the last time we were together.
Very interesting.
That's awesome. Okay, so let's chat about the series a little bit. I want to show you guys the jerseys which we have this time around. So I'm just going to pull those up. Okay, there we go. So, Aaron, I believe you can see. This is our overall leaders jersey. We've changed it up a bit this year, where this jersey is being contested internationally. So even if you are a non-South African or a non-South African resident, which is a requirement for contesting for prizes. It's just we're working on getting a sponsorship from Elite Global, but for the moment I can't ask Anthony to ship outside of his customer base in terms of their distribution rights locally. But hopefully we'll get there at some stage. But what's nice about it is this jersey is awarded to anyone internationally. You don't need to be a South African or a South African resident to contest it. And at least you'll get digital honors and a digital badge on our website and be crowned ultimately as the yellow jersey winner should you win the competition. To win this competition, you need to contest at least seven of the eight, and your 7 best results will ultimately, you can contest the 8th of course, but your 7 best results will count towards your final ranking. And that's quite a simple system where first place on any given day gets 20 points, second place gets 19 points, etc., all the way down to 20th. And whoever accumulates the most points wins. And then this competition will be running within categories as well, where in each UCI age category for both men and women, we will have a winner within those categories. Categories being 30 to 34. 35 to 39, etc., etc. This is our African jersey, South African jersey, more specifically the red jersey. This is the big one. For men, we have a 15,000 Rand prize tied to it in the form of an Ubukuta jewelry design voucher. So thank you to Ubukuta, our headline sponsor and timing partner, for contributing that. And hopefully either one of the guys or another South African enrolled through the website will walk away with this amazing prize. And we're looking forward to seeing a hotly contested competition, especially given what you've mentioned, Aaron, because I think the real world riders like Tiens and Christian will appreciate the adjusted aerodynamics, the adjustment to the draft effect that's been made to make that more realistic, because they are very accustomed to gaming that system in real life. So hopefully it helps them to do well and narrows that gap between the Zwift specialists like Eddie and Gary and the real world strong riders. This is the big one. I like to call it the Magliadonna. Other people call it the pink jersey. So we have struggled to introduce more ladies to the competition, and it's not too late to enter. Even if you win this evening, again, we set your 7 best results will count towards your final standing. So just enter now and contest the final 7. And we've got a 5,000 Rand prize for ladies, even though we have a reasonably small field. So if you do enter, you'll have a great shot at winning this. It's a 5,000 Rand voucher for Wild Jewelry, which is an online shop. Yaku, forgive me if I've got the wrong name. I actually don't have it on hand at the moment, so I'll post that up a bit later, because now I've got my foot in my mouth. But it's a great prize, and the field, even though we've got unprecedented interest from the ladies up to this point, they still represent less than 15% of the field. So please encourage your mates. Come join us and help us get this ladies competition properly launched. As per usual, sponsored by Powerball, we have the points competition. This will be designated hotspot sprint points, intermediate sprints, and sometimes final sprints across the course. We don't have any tonight because, again, it's a prologue event, and the winner will go away wearing all of the jerseys, barring the Magliadonna, and ultimately something for the sprinters, the likes of Rudy Kellerman, MC Dreyer. Who won it last time round? It was Dusty. It was Dusty Day. He took it, yeah. He held his legs for all of the sprints and contested the points jerseys. That was awesome. So that creates a bit of a different dynamic and creates something for the guys who've got serious power and maybe not such a high sustained power like the general classification guys do. And finally, we have the polka dot jersey, similar to the points jersey. This is a King of the Mountains jersey, so we have designated King of the Mountain spots where the faster times give you give you the points, and we hope to see this jersey contested tightly again. Last year we saw Christian Janssen van Rensburg, Zahi Rahman, and Donovan Lecoq contesting this jersey very tightly, and we hope to see once again a bit of a competition within a competition being spurred by the incentive. This sponsored by The Mark, our new sponsor, specifically BioGear, who are the local distributors for The Mark and a couple of other very cool brands. In the meantime, I guess we should check what's happening in the race.
On board with, we were on board with Eddie Hull there. Met him for the first time last year. What a great rider. Aaron, you know him very well. You know his stats. Just give us a little bit of a briefing behind Mr. Eddie Hull.
Eddie Hull's probably one of the most humblest, down-to-earth riders you can ever meet. Soft-spoken chap, but when he puts the power down, he takes that business. He's ruthless in his execution. He's calculated in his execution. And I can tell you now, he knows exactly what he's going to be doing, and we will be seeing an attack close to the end. Where he's going to attack, we can't tell that, but I know that information.
No, you know that
You know
information.
I know it because I did the program race with him.
Yeah.
And I know where he broke away.
Yeah.
He's not well known for doing this. We saw what he did after the Bologna T2 course last year. He broke away on the first lap of the course and no one's going again. He's probably one of the most prolific winners we've seen in the series. I'm expecting I think it was only Rick Sorensen who could go with it.
Yeah. I mean, also a great name that we should mention. And
He's riding. I see he's up
riding,
there in
and
the lead group.
also, not a youngster at all. I mean, so it just shows you. There we go. He's on our screen there, Rick Sorensen. I mean, you also know a little bit of the stats on Rick. If you could just guide us through it, Aaron.
And who's this Bailey gentleman? I see he's also with Cryogen.
David Bailey is one of the strongest Western type riders. So David and Rick are age group national champions in crits and road racing. So I know there's been a lot of talk about how they perform one's work, but they can actually back it up with results that they've had outdoors, and they've been athletes through their entire life. So there is credibility to be given, and we need to appreciate that. Really riders, and also it's a short format of racing. I'm not saying that these two individuals will be able to stay in there for 3 to 4 hours, but over the short nature and the at least gives them the opportunities to compete, and they are really good athletes.
No, yeah, phenomenal. Look, I think the game is up for Zwift Cheats, and there have been a couple of famous ones in the prevailing 6 months since we did this last time. But I think given that we've got things like national champs, e-national champs, that kind of thing going on at the moment, and that's more and more being pushed into venues, similar to what we're doing this evening, where there's a verification process. And eventually all of that's going to get washed out, and reputations are going to get ruined. So I think we've seen a lot of that occurring already since we started this journey, haven't we?
Yeah, we've spoken about it in depth. This is its own discipline, without a doubt. What's also interesting, if we're going back to the cheat side of things, where this is that last year we had Philip Dignan from Canyon Esports compete on a couple of these courses in our series, and Philip was caught out for manipulating data when it came to pure recording. It just shows you if there's professional athletes of Philip's caliber doing that and doctoring these files, it just goes to show you actually can't tell who is cheating. You can't tell who's performing, but there are protocols in place to sift these guys out. And the more of these weeds we pluck out, the better the credibility of the series. And I have no doubt here that I'd say 99% of the schools will win, without a doubt.
Oh, definitely. It's improved massively, and that's almost put us at ease in terms of managing our own credibility and trying to trying to keep our riders honest and happy, you know, because these high level guys don't want to contest against cheats, and they don't want to feel like, you know, their efforts are pointless, and that's the big thing. The moment you take away their credibility, your really talented field don't feel as incentivized to race hard anymore. But I take heart from the fact that there's clearly been progress, and to me it's great that a guy from Canyon, which is frankly the highest profile, and probably, you know, those are the only guys making a living, as far as I know, you know, earning proper salaries doing this, that even one of their riders got caught out and disqualified and banned. So if they start this from the top, and in time all of this stuff will come out on the wash. And if you're not showing up for those national champs or refusing to do physical verification, you're just going to disappear from sight. So we will continue to verify, and the top 3 in all of our categories will be verified, but we're not demanding weigh-in videos from the entire field at the moment. It'll only be the top guys that will be subject to verification as the series progresses.
Of course, I mean, that's a great initiative for us. It's really good for the sponsors, and it just shows that the prize money and the sponsors that have come on board, they see the credibility of the series. They wouldn't be on board if it weren't in place. But an interesting fact of how Philip got caught out. What happened was that we got to submit two power files after the race. So it's the file that's with the source and the file that's the secondary file system on. And what Philip did was he took his one file, manipulated the zip file, touched it by a couple of percentage, uploaded it as his secondary file, and that's how he got caught. He didn't have the secondary device. Something happened with his Garmin. Instead of coming clean and saying, guys, it didn't get caught, he would have merely just got an annulment, which is fine. It happens. Equipment failed. Timing just failed. But we went with the data, and unfortunately, you know, you're going to get caught.
I read that report, and I must say I was so impressed with Zwift, because some of the previous disqualifications, we had those 2 high-profile ladies pros that were also disqualified for doing almost precisely the same thing, fabricating the second recording, or one of them at least. The one seemingly inadvertently, and the other one had claimed that her manager, or the director of the team, had in fact been the one doing the fiddling. But in that particular case, they released such a detailed document, and I could immediately understand, having gone through this process myself and having requested dual recordings from some of our participants myself, where they were coming from and precisely how they caught this guy out. And if you use the DC Rainmaker analyzer, you can, the moment somebody manipulates a Zwift file as the secondary recording, you can't find those devices anymore. Yeah, they generate separate device IDs because Zwift doesn't pass that information through. So you need to be recording that to a Garmin or a Wahoo head unit to have a proper dual recording file, and that's partially how they identified the issue. And then on top of that, he didn't randomize his manipulation, he just applied a fixed formula, which made it pertinently obvious, because no 2 devices, even if they are identical, will record the same power. That's just the nature of it. It is variable, and you would expect some sort of variance between devices to call it oscillate around the mean, and whereas in his particular instance it was fixed. It was nice to get such a detailed report and really understand how detailed they're going into this. And if I was a Zwift cheat, I would be very cautious. You know, and I'm sure sponsors are now suing these athletes who have been stripped of titles, stripped of positions, because hey, you know, I spent a bunch of money on you and you effectively defrauded me through your fake performances. Yes.
Completely justifiable for this, but I think the process is in place. How they take these guys out. What we have here was real perspective from that. And I think it's a great call. Only calling for weighing when necessary. It takes away that pressure. It probably brings more guys in to participate. And if there are irregularities and other performances, then you can take to the side for the men, let them do their weighing and measurements, and you can verify the line.
Yes, absolutely. And guys, I mean, the technical committee has been convened. So if you see any dodgy performances, let me know. It's all anonymous, and we look at absolutely everything that is reported to us. We do verify performances, and the moment essentially any given performance is flagged, that rider will be requested to start dual recording from that point going forward. And we might go as far as a physical verification of things as simple as weight and height, but also of actual performance by having them perform in studio on our equipment on an evening such as this, and ultimately it'll come out. You know, you can only pretend so much before you'll have trouble covering your tracks, because that physical verification you're not going to get past. But again, it's only going to happen in extreme situations, but we're perfectly willing to wield that stick should it be required. I think, Aaron, I want Sean to give our sponsor a bit of exposure. So thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you on from next week.
Cool guys, thanks for having me. It's going to be cool to catch up next week and do this in greater detail. But before I go, 11 guys are up the road, it seems, with quite a sizable gap.
Yeah.
Gap. There are four big names in here, I'd say. Rick Sorensen, picking up coming with Eddie Hall, and Gustavo Pina from West Knee. That guy's got a lethal sprint on him. I'm backing Eddie.
So that's your call. we have to do this. That's a tradition, right? You're backing Eddie.
I'm gonna go with Eddie, Christian, Peter Avan, and Gustavo Pino in fourth. Mark my words.
Okay. I'm going Christian
I'm going Christian as well.
because he's won every championship he's contested in this year. I'm backing him to win this one as well.
And because he's and because he's sitting behind us.
Yeah. He did tell me today he's a bit tired of the bike. He needs a break. He needs to break off the bike so he can fall in love with racing again. But I'm sure this is going to bring out the competitive side in him again.
Exactly. So thanks, guys. Hope you have a great evening there, and we'll catch up next week.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks
Here
so
we go,
much,
folks.
Aaron.
No worries. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Aaron Borrell, all the way from London, England. Great having him on board with us. In fact, it's been 6 months ago since we last caught up, so that was rather fun. Okay, it looks like I've got to go do some work now, so I'm going to head off onto the floor. We're going to cross over very shortly.
Let me hand you your camera.
And yeah, there we go. I'm going to get handed a camera, a little portable camera, and I'm going to go run around, so I'll see you in just a couple of seconds. All right, there we go. Good to go. So we're just going to head on to some of our riders very quickly. I'm going to flip the camera around again onto Tiens van der Bank here now, stripping it down, ladies. There we go. He is happily married and he's concentrating heavily. And this is what it looks like. This is their view. So quite impressive. Donovan Lecoq all the way from the southern suburbs heading out here to Paul today. That's his view at the moment. There you can see what he's looking at on the map. It gives him a breakdown of where he needs to be. It's his current watts that he's pushing out. There you can see hold up by a power bar. Thanks very much to Trevor and the boys. And we were talking about, myself and Kobus were talking about that famous ironing board. Well, here's that famous ironing board right here. That will become part of the merch probably by next season, I reckon. Christian van der Bank, I'm just going to head on over to him. He's in that leading bunch. I just got to watch out that I don't pull out any wires from my leading bunch. Here we go. Rudy Kellerman. Rudy Kellerman now chatting to Kathy. She's trying to disappear out of my sight again. I'm going to grab her in just a second.
I sure know.
Christian van der Bank in that leading pack now, pushing out 437 watts, 454 watts. And the shout out there behind me was none other than Rudy Kellerman.
Sure know. Are you ready?
How's it going, my man? So how's it to you currently live to about probably 150,000
They say
people?
this is quite fun. So I'll see now.
Well, we know you got the legs for it
On the flat, yes.
on the flats. All right, there we go. Team Top Watch. Okay, so I've been waiting for this young gentleman for the last hour. I've been chatting about him. Jaco,
About this guy.
About this
Hey, man,
guy.
how are you doing?
Sorry, I can't speak in Afrikaans because I remember it's an international audience. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, very well. Thanks for coming on board again for season number 2, the Masters series. Uwe Kuta doing some amazing work, and of course your timing. How's that been going?
Yeah, I think we've sort of stepped away from that a bit in terms of this season, but we've certainly gotten to do some other things.
Yep.
And look, and I think we're trying to help develop and trying to help move esports forward and put some systems in place to make it a bit easier. I mean, this guy does a lot of work behind the scenes.
Of course he does.
And if we can help him to make it a bit easier and make the streamline the process a bit, and you know, doing that or with that, develop the sport, absolutely. Then we're moving somewhere.
Moving in the right
Let's get
direction.
the long arm going here, so we can all get a
The
in
long arm
on,
on the
in on the picture here.
Oh, there we go. How's it?
Yeah, here we go. Yaki, don't be modest, man. You've been doing a lot more in terms of timing beyond just what you do. You're welcome to chat about that. Tell us about your
Yeah, I think look, I think for us it's been there's been a nice journey over the last 2 or so years, and it's certainly been one that is very difficult to, if we look back to predicted sort of how it would play out. But certainly it's been amazing in terms of how things have developed, and I think how we've seen sort of people think differently about sort of window challenges. We call them window challenges, and that sort of idea of sort of, you know, setting up a segment, challenging a bunch of people, giving them a month to do it, and we've run this sort of 4-leg challenge now around Paul Mountain for the last 3 months or so. And just sort of taking, I think, cycling to a different level by saying that it doesn't have to be an event, number one, you know, and it doesn't have to have a fixed starting time and a fixed end time. It could happen over days or weeks or months for that matter. It could be a challenge that could be decided on many different factors, not only fastest time. It could be in the middle of nowhere, really. And we have virtual beacons that signal the start and a finish. And suddenly sort of things play out a bit differently, you know, and suddenly we can start to think about it in a way that is beyond that sort of limitation of, you know, an event and 100 people and accommodation and all these sort of things we need to do. And I think what we've seen from that is that we've started to attract people to locations that may not necessarily have seen those people, purely because we've set up a challenge to do a segment in a part of a mountain that people haven't ever looked at before. And I mean, one of them, for you guys that know Tygerberg and so on, is Tiger's Claw. I mean, most of the Tygerberg members actually don't know Tiger's Claw. You know, so you set up a challenge and say, well, guys, let's see who can do Tiger's Claw. You know, and do it at a weighted time sort of basis and see who can do it the fastest weighted time. And suddenly you see guys going out and trying out Tiger's Claw, and they tell us, we've never seen this guy before. We didn't know this existed on the network. And the same thing happened around Paul with the Eliminator and the wall, and the wall was a challenge long before it became part of the of the XCO, national championships last month. That was a challenge that we ran in December already. So that sort of thing bring people in, and they sort of show new parts of the country, new parts of trails. So it's ultimately about sort of growing the cycling community, growing the sport in a bigger context, and thereby sort of saying, well, how do we move forward by sort of ensuring that everyone in that space has a place, and that together we actually grow the sport and we get more and we become more successful. Hopefully produce some world-class athletes like we have been doing. Yeah. You know, get some yellow jerseys, get some guys in number 1s and 2s on important tours. So if we can play a role in that, by all means, we'd love to.
Yeah. Well, we think you've done a fantastic job at what you do. So from all of us and from the guys behind you, fantastic job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. And thanks for being here tonight, all the way out in Paul.
I love Paul. Won't miss it.
So check out Jaco's magic at masters-racing.com. You're going to see our winners this evening. We're going to have badges awarded to them. There's a whole process of gamification that Jaco has introduced to our approach. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to run our leaderboards up there, and we've got a lot of content on there to enjoy, and a lot of plans for it going forward. Masters Racing, masters-racing.com.
There we go.
Okay.
Nice, thanks.
Thank you, Jaco.
Ja, we'll see how it's at the same time. So last minute can have to be taken on.
Okay.
All right. So thanks to Jaco for that. All right. In your view right now, the one and only Darren, we've worked together on a few events. You do amazing work in and around the whole Paarl area. I've ridden your trails. I've seen some of your amazing races. But now you've got something new. This amazing premises right here in Paarl, folks. Not Stellenbosch, but Paarl. It's brand new. That's how new it is. Darren, it's only 2 months.
It's 2 months old.
2 months old.
2 months old now, yeah, a little bit more than 2 months. So we're still wet behind the ears, and yeah, see how it goes.
But great to have such an amazing shop right here in almost what is a hub for mountain biking in the Western Cape. And you've got an establishment that's going to look after the needs of those riders that choose that particular brand, Specialized.
I think that's the whole goal, when me and Paul looked at doing something and expanding the brand and everything like that is, there's so many, not discounting any of the other bike shops that are in town here. It's just, when you've got a love for a town, this town bites you, and you just once it gets hold of you, it doesn't let go, So we've been busy here for 4 years now, building all the trails and the events and that, and it was a natural thing for us to sit down and say, we've had the relationship with Specialized for so many years and being very close to them. It's almost like the cherry on the top for us. So it's exciting to have a brand here, to have Specialized here, and I hope the Oaks come out and support us and ride the trails, and hopefully we can help them out with a couple of bikes and services and see what happens.
Well, nice that you just literally smack bang off the N1. For those of you that haven't seen it yet, literally a stone throw off the N1, easy to get to. You've got an amazing looking establishment, and thanks for hosting us this evening.
No,
it's
exciting
really
for us
cool
to
to
have
be
it
here, and Darren's even got us some snacks and some coffees and everything. So
Don't forget the beer.
and also beers, but they're not allowed to have it. The guys behind us. Darren, from my side and from the organisers, thank you very much for hosting us.
Cool.
What a cool establishment. Guys and girls, get out here to Paarl, to Specialized. Come chat to Darren. He's an amazing guy, and he also builds a mean track as well, so come and check him out. Thanks, Darren. All right, we're going to probably go back to the studio in a couple of minutes. We're just going to go and take a quick walk around. We've got the Powerhouse right here in front. He's a guest rider. Petrus Malherbe. I was very, very fortunate to catch up with him on Saturday at the Western Province or Western Cape XCO out in Hill Arder. He's a powerhouse on the mountain bike and a powerhouse right here today. And check how simple he set up his guest rider today, but also a local here from Paarl. I don't think I'm going to get a word in with him. I think he's focused. So
There's
we,
not much to say. That, everybody is complaining about the second lap, and yeah, we're suffering together. That's what it's about.
tell us about that second lap.
Well, I'm not. Well, there I'm on it. Yes.
Okay.
So
So as bad as XCO out of Hillman Arder, or not so bad?
I need a drop for a heart rate spike. I'm sleeping at 150 beats per minute. So it's just a training ride for me. Yeah, just
Well, after
top 100.
after Saturday's amazing performance, literally a couple of seconds off the podium.
I just speak to the guy that was 30s right on the other side, Mr. Donovan Lecoq.
Oh yes, that's right. Because you were catching him. I actually mentioned that to you on Saturday that given a half a lap you would have taken it, but I'm not going to go and tell Donovan that now. We're not.
Maybe gonna break his
We're not going to break his spirit. He's all out on his own there, the man from the southern suburbs. So that's what it looks like here in the studio here at Paul Specialized. Let's go see who else we can talk to. MC Dre is in his own world. He's got his little ear jobs in, so he's probably listened to some crazy tunes. So we're not going to be able to get hold of him right now. Yeah, there we go. He's putting down the hammer. And you can see what he's looking at.
I don't know what the other guys' excuse are, but mine is eating too much and training too little.
Don't worry, mate. That's my excuse for the last 5 years. Nice catching up with MC Dre, a team top watch, and Benny right next to him. We've also got another guest rider on that side over there. I'm going to see if I can get over to him and go and say hi. Donnie, how you feeling, mate?
Not great.
Legs are tired after that third place on the XO on Saturday. I'm surprised you're even here. It just shows your commitment to this incredible series.
Yeah, that cross-country series was hard, eh?
Yeah, Himmel and Arden must have broken those legs slightly.
Yeah, four races quite close together.
Yeah,
Excellent series. But it is taking its toll, eh?
but nice to get into a winter series on the bike. And folks, have a look at this. He's out of that saddle now. Chris right here in view now. She also took a podium on Saturday at the XCO. First time out, and then goes and rakes up a nice little podium spot. We're going to catch up with our guest rider. I'm going to go see if I can get to him though. It's a bit tight here because we've got to get past the ironing board of death. Right, I'm going to see if I can get to Ignis as well. I'm not exactly sure his position right now. Currently pushing out 200 and...
No, wait, let me
200... No, don't get out your saddle. There we go. Now he's getting up to 300 watts quite quickly.
I'll give you some more. I'll give you some
Ignis Oosthuizen, what a great rider as well. I only met him last year in season 1, but such a great rider.
Thank you.
And always one of the friendliest riders. Here we go. Guest rider on the series. I'm not entirely sure who it is. I'm going to try and see if I can get closer.
Guest rider hacked the start.
He hacked the start. Oh,
I'm on my own route.
look at that.
I'm in Akron.
So, Callan, guest rider today, and on the biggest screen ever.
It's all happening here.
How are you feeling, mate?
Yeah, good. Yeah, enjoying it.
First time to the Masters SA Series.
That's right, yeah.
And
Well, hopefully next time I make the start.
yeah,
had some,
a bit of technical
I had
issues.
some technical issues, yeah.
But it's great that you're still riding. It's
Yeah.
great that you're with us this evening.
Great, thank you.
And we hope you stay on board for the rest of the
yeah,
season.
absolutely, yeah.
Some
Yeah, sort out
some
the-
really cool riders that you can join. So good stuff, mate. We'll
Yeah.
catch up with you later.
Cool,
Thanks, Callan.
thanks very much.
Here we go. On board with Jaco Davel, a prolific rider of note. Just having a look at his setup. So there's his Watopia graphics right down there. You can see himself there and you can watch his riders incredible what these guys can do in the technology. Also a member of the Top Watch team, along with MC Dreyer. And I'm just looking at my producer, just checking the time to see where we are. We're at 39 Ks into the race, 56 minutes, so just under an hour. Rudy Killerman just on the other side over there. So these are the guys that are in the studio at the moment. But remember, there are riders from all over the country. Again, all these amazing elite trainers. There's another one standing on standby. They probably would have used that early on when Callum's had a bit of a technical. You'll see Ignis Oosthuizen out of the saddle now. It gives you a very cool indication of how everything works. The ironing board. Just remember this, folks, this ironing board is going to become famous. And not for ironing, of course. All right, we're going to head back to the studio.
About 12 minutes. You want to head back to studio?
Yeah, so we've got about 12 minutes to go. We're about to go back to the studio in just a couple of seconds. So you notice it's got very quiet now. You can hear the crunching of the gears. It's the last couple of kilometers to go, and you start seeing the focus on the riders.
Okay, back at my little studio. Let's check out the racing. See, we're on board with Peter Avenant, who has just fallen off the front group.
Alright, so back in the studio, folks, and we are at 40.1 kilometers into the race, and time-wise we're looking at 59 minutes. So we're going to go up for an hour now, and about 10 more minutes, and we're on board with Peter Avenant, all the way from Johannesburg at the moment, as they cross that bridge. This is on lap 2. We heard from a couple of the riders, Petrus Malahaba, the powerhouse, that one of our guest riders saying that most of the guys on their bikes were complaining about round or lap number 2. Well, it's only because their legs are starting to burn and they're starting to feel it. And the guys here at Specialized in Paul, and you could see it on that live feed that we went to now. They are absolutely burning. It takes a lot of effort to do what they do.
Yep, that is ridiculous. So we've got a nice front group forming here. They've ridden off most of the competition. The likes of David Bailey and Rick Sorensen are Zuf pros, all the way from the US. And the leading guy in the series, as far as I can see at the moment, seems to be Christian. He did manage to catch, he was ridden off, managed to catch up to them again. Now they've ridden him off again. So in this front group we've got Rick Sorensen, we've got, this is what I need Aaron for. He knows all of these guys. They seem to be high profile gents. This Olsen, he's raced with us before. And then Christian is off about 15 seconds from this group, trying really hard to catch up. So before we run out of time, Sean, we've got some discount codes.
Brilliant.
Yes, I nearly forgot about those. So let's start with Powerbar. That's our new Powerbar discount code. Code is RDX Cycling. Realty Dynamics, one of the sponsors for the series, as always. Thank you guys. and the code Realty Dynamics Powerball, our other major sponsor, sponsoring our category and points prizes. Thank you, Trevor, for always supporting from the get-go. He's been supporting one sponsor that's really come through from start to finish. So head over to their website, support them. RDX Cycling is your discount code, 15% on any order. They deliver nationally, and it helps us to push a bit of traffic through there. Justifies their supporting us. So by supporting them, you will support what we're doing here. Next up, we have Bicycle Gear. It's bicyclegear.co.za. That's the little Vermark logo you see on screen there. They're the local distributors for Vermark, amongst other things. The discount code is the same as the other one, but hashtag RDX Cycling, and you'll get a 10% discount on everything available on their website at checkout. Thanks a lot to Eve from Bicycle Gear for coming on board and supporting us. And we look forward to doing some more work with you guys in future. But really cool intro video that we showed you guys was compiled by Jonathan, Eve's husband. And we're going to be doing some more work with them in some of the other venues as well as the series progresses. But it's really nice to have them on board. Thank you for supporting Masters SA and e-racing in South Africa. And we look forward to many great things in this partnership. Okay, how are we doing, Sean?
So 43.1 kilometers in, just over an hour and coming up to an hour and 4 minutes. So we coming to crunch time now, and just having a quick look. Still on board with Mr. Bailey. A great rider, also from the States. You heard Aaron Bowl talking about him early on.
I see Eddie's right up there.
Yeah,
okay, so
Eddie's right up with him.
Aaron looks good on his call today.
Yeah.
I need to check if Eddie entered the series.
But we saw that last year. Eddie could surprise attack at pretty much every single race that we had towards the latter part of the season. He would make those surprise attacks, bang on the button for those last 4 or 5Ks to go. So let's see what he does here. So
I don't think Eddie backs himself in a sprint.
Yeah.
So he always seems to do something at long range, where some of the other guys may wait for the line to make a move. Eddie always goes early. So he is worth keeping an eye on.
So local hero and the guy just behind us, we caught up with him early on. He was concentrating quite heavily, so I didn't want to interrupt him too much. Christian Janssen van Vuren, also one of the most charismatic, one of the friendliest riders in the group here behind us as well. He's also famously taken a lot of wins like that, where he just hangs back, and the last 2 kilometers he can really just stretch those legs and put the hammer down.
I think he's a lot like Eddie, except he does even longer range attacks.
Longer range attacks, yeah.
Because his sprint sucks gas. He'll tell you that himself. That's how he's won. Now Christian, in his age category this year, has won SA Road Champs, road race, SA Time Trial Champs, and the SA Mountain Bike Marathon Champs in category 30 to 39. So he likes to go along, but I think he might have fallen off a bit too far today. Is it just me, or is Eddie off?
Well, interesting to see the flags being represented. So countries out there, we've spoken about South Africa quite a bit. We know our South African riders, but we've got the Portuguese flag in there. We've got, just looking at it now, Canada being represented, Sweden being represented. So all nationalities out here. It's a far cry from what we had last year, just in terms of who's entering this race of ours. So well done to you guys, for making this happen.
Well, that was, honestly, getting the slot was the difficult part, but just maintaining it and keeping the courses interesting, and running the league through Zwift Power, which is where our results will still be posted for this series, our global results.
Yeah.
that's just been something we've kept going since Zwift's allocated. We got onto Zwift's radar, partially thanks to Mr. Burrell, and we allocated the slot. We've just been maintaining it and trying to keep the racing interesting. And I believe all the South Africans coming to race it with us has assisted a bunch. So that keeps it interesting for these high-level guys. As we see the powers going through the roof, clearly this is a finishing move we are seeing right now.
Yeah, you can hear it even in the background now.
And there's the finish.
Yeah,
There's the
bikes in
finish.
the background also just crunching through the gears as they power up.
Whoever Mr. Olsen is.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So Swedish rider at the moment,
He's going to take it.
slightly jumping out of the saddle there.
And done. Well done. Okay. So Mr. Olsen took it by the looks of things. We were all wrong. But I don't know. I don't know within the entered field. Probably Eddie if he's entered. But I'll have to check if he's part of our field. I should probably check that right now. Oh, well done everyone. There was a hard finish. As you can see, somebody did go long to win it. It was quite exciting. We've grown so accustomed to seeing our own guys. Our own guys up there. This time wasn't quite the case.
Swiss rider now. They have Lafarge.
See, the foreigners have been training on Zwift all of their winter.
All of their winter, yeah.
They're in better shape.
Well, that's one of the things that MC Dreyer said to me when we caught up with him live here in the studio, just saying that he was caught off guard this evening. So quite clearly our overseas riders have been putting in a lot of effort.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, as we watch some more of our locals finishing up. Justin Pradey, I believe it's Justin Pradey.
Yeah.
There's Ignis, still out on the course. There's Dusty. Okay, so here's quite a substantial group. Rudy Kellerman, Dusty Day.
Nice to see Mark Kavanagh also in the mix.
No way.
Yeah, Mark Kavanagh, a great rider from, and I want to say it's Stellenbosch again.
Isn't it PE?
No, he's from Hermanus.
Hermanus.
Yeah.
Close enough.
I've got Stellenbosch on the brain tonight. Mark Kavanagh and the whole Kavanagh family. How's it from all of us here in the studio? I know Shelley would be watching as well.
I saw Malcolm Isaacs.
Yeah,
There's
Malcolm Isaacs from
Suzanne
Milkman.
Pope from Older Sevens there. There we
Hey,
go.
Waldo. The Vomit Comet from last season.
Oh, nice.
Let's see who else we got there in our South African batch. Another Swedish flag. Elo.
Older heading into the finish now. Just has to round that corner and he'll be done.
There we go. Well done, Volder, Malcolm Isaacs. Now, these guys also play around on XCO and on road cycling right here in Cape Town. Great bunch of guys in their age category. Always looking after each other, always giving each other a bit of banter, which really works well to keep up the competitive edge. So well done, guys.
Okay, I guess we can wrap up.
Yeah, it's been a great first one. slightly rusty, but the two of us will get the hang of it by round 2.
Yes,
I'm
and
pretty sure.
And we'll be behind our desks for the next
Yeah.
one, which might make life a bit easier.
Yeah, 'cause-
But join us in 4 weeks' time at our next live venue as
Yeah.
well, Cycle Direct,
Yeah, that's going to be another specialized dealership.
and we're doing Helderberg as well.
Yeah, very
So
cool.
that's gonna be a heck of a lot of fun. We get to do more of these. Eventually, we'll do in the final, and we'll do the lucky draw as well.
Yeah.
But tune in next week. And thanks so much for joining, guys. And thank you most of all to our sponsors.
Yep.
We've got, let's call them out. Specialized Pole,
Specialized Pole, yeah.
who provided some hampers for our winners, and in this incredible venue this evening. Good, best of luck to you guys with your excellent new store. If you are in Pole, come and support them. We unfortunately had to put all of the beautiful cycling stock aside to put the racing floor in. But come have a squiz. They've got lots of stock. They've got some amazing bikes, and it's just a really nice store. So drop by and have
Thanks,
a coffee.
Darren.
Yeah, well done, Darren. This is a really nice setup. Thank you to Uwe Kutter and Jaco Prinsloo, sponsoring our main prizes for both the ladies and men's winners. That in itself is 20 grand right there, so absolutely phenomenal. Thank you to N Squared, Anthony. Of course, those would be the distributors for Elite and Victoria Tires in South Africa. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for the massive grand prize of that Elite Sweet OT, which I'll throw on, seeing that Voldy stopped pedaling. So again, just to remind everyone, that's the grand prize. Ride 7 out of 8 races, and you will have the opportunity to win this in our lucky draw. And you'll be surprised. I mean, quite a few guys managed to do 5 or 6 races. So ultimately, it's not that big a field. You might have a half decent chance if you manage to do 7 of these to get into the lucky draw. We've already handed out 2 of them, and it's a really nice prize to have. You'll get this one in the middle of winter, precisely when cycling outside sucks the most. So get in on the action. Go to masters-racing.com and join us in the series. Thank you to Powerbar, Cherry from Powerbar, sponsoring our Age Cat and Points. Phenomenal. Again, thank you for the support there. Thank you to Realty Dynamics. You guys have been phenomenal, excellent supporters, and welcome to the team. Thank you to Bicycle Gear, Eve and Jonathan. Thank you, and thank you to Cape Multisport Club for putting all of this together. We appreciate your trouble. And thank you to Sean Peter of Sean Peters Media.
Yeah, well, thanks to you. Always inviting me back. Do appreciate it. A lot of the big thank yous should go out to the man sitting right next to me. He puts all this together. A lot of time and effort. Trust me, I know. I do another series. It gets fairly daunting behind the scenes, and he's in front and on the back of the scene. So well done for this. I take my hat off to you. You do an excellent job, and thanks for always having me. Do appreciate it, and cannot wait for the next couple of weeks for what's going to turn out to be a really awesome series.
It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. So we're all looking forward to it.
And thanks to you guys that have tuned in on a Wednesday evening. If you have been watching us, thank you very much. Do appreciate it, and we'll catch you back next week.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a wonderful evening and a great week further.
Cheers,
See you
guys.
next week. Bye.